Hello guys, it's Monk here. Today I've got a game with the mines for you. Now this is my first video, and commentating. I'll try my best. I acquired this ship most recently in the Black Friday sales, and I've played quite a significant number of games in this now, and I'm quite impressed. I do like this ship. Um, I play cruisers and destroyers mainly, so this play style of the mines is quite a typical German line of having pretty good range, very good HE penetration. So it's a lot of spamming from distance, and the mines is no different in terms of that. Um, it's got a very good range of 17.5 for tier 8. You can obviously get matches with tier 6s, so um, the range is very, very strong. Um, and obviously it's got a very quick reload. I believe of around about 5 seconds, depending on the build and whether you run Lucha Gutchins or not. I do on this ship, so after 140 shells, you get an extra 7.5% boost in your reload, which for this ship is quite considerable, and you definitely feel it once you get it. And because it's got so many guns and such a quick reload, you can pump out those 140 shells quite quickly. Anyway, so I realised the Z23 is getting quite close, and at this point I'm literally waiting for him to give me a broadside to shoot, but he's obviously getting unspotted, so I take a shot, and then I start engaging with the Prince Eugen. Now the shells aren't super slow, but they're not obviously Russian ballistics. So at extreme ranges of sort of 17 and plus, it can be hard to hit quite maneuverable ships, like obviously cruisers. Battleships don't tend to be too bad. Now I saw the salvo coming from an Almagi. I could tell it was HE, so I wasn't massively worried about it. And the Prince Eugen is now getting out of my range. And at this point, I realised that we have quite a lot of our teammates going to A, so I'm not going to be able to really do much there. I'm sort of behind this whole thing, and there's only a Hawk and a Prince Eugen there. So I decide to go into the middle, see if I can help out with killing the Z23. And obviously this is when I spot the turret pits. Also, if you just notice there, I saw the salvo from the mug quite a while ago, and that's why I slowed down while I was turning to dodge that, even though it was HE, so even if I took it, it probably wouldn't have been an end of the world. But this is your typical ideal situation for the mines, where you have a BB pushing in, and because of your and once again I do it there, where I slow down while I turn to dodge the salvo, and as you can see, that's a very good trick if you guys haven't tried that before. But yeah, as I said, this is your perfect scenario where somebody's pushing in, you can kite away. Because of the angles on the German cruisers, they're essentially built more for kiting than sort of shooting forward as such. And if you notice, that Turpin's repair the double fire I had on him earlier, and I've just set triple fires on him, so he's going to go down very, very quickly without having a repair party. And this is why the mines are so strong in terms of power. And even if you play against tier 10s, because it's got good range and the penetration is so good, you don't need IFHE. You could actually do quite well in any tier. Obviously, it's a lot harder. You're going to have trouble with things like Kremlin and Petros and stuff like that. But because of the sheer amount of shells you do put out, you can burn them down because you don't have to take IFHE. You don't lose the fire chance. So the ship is really, really good. And as you can see, we're up to 102 shells, 54k damage, which isn't sort of anything amazing, but considering we were in 7,000 before we engaged with the Turpits, we took off what 46,000 health of him in quite quick concession. And at this point, I can see the North Carolina and Armaghi pushing in, and that flank has essentially collapsed. So I'm trying to make my way down there to help out. So I'm engaging with Carolina at the moment. I'm trying to get a few shells in before he gets in behind the island. Our Italian destroyer is going for B, so I'm quite happy with that. And our team is quite comfortably winning on A. So I know that I need to push this way to be able to really have the most impact in the game. And this is the good thing about the mines. Another good thing, I suppose, is that you can have quite an influential game if, well, especially or like sort of equal tier, because you got quite a good DPM, so you can engage with destroyers, and you got hydro, so you can push in. And yes, your armor isn't great, and your detectability is pretty bad. And there we go. I activate the 140 shells, so I get the 7.5% boost. At this point, let's spot the Z23. Sorry, I didn't spot. I'm not sure who must have spotted them. He must have maybe shooting the submarine. But I'm engaging him, and I realise he's within my hydro, so that's why I accelerate forward. And I know momentarily he will be detected. So while I sail up to him, I engage the Armaghi, and then I do spot him. And a lot of people do forget, because Binds is massively popular, I suppose. So a lot of people don't always remember that it has hydro, and it's 6 km, which is another good thing. But going back to the detectability, it does have 12 kilometer detectability, which isn't amazing. And at this point, this is when I spot the Carolina, and was very, very worried because, as I said, the armor isn't great on the mines, and if he had AP loaded, he probably would have nearly deleted me there. So I was quite happy to see that he had HE loaded. And what I'm trying to do is just sort of sail behind the island here, get a little bit of cover. As you can see, there's nothing to my left, or B/A way, so I'm pretty safe that way while I'm engaging the Carolina. And what I don't want to do is sail past this island in front of me, because I'll be within shooting to the Veneto and the Marghi and everyone else on that side. So I decided to push in this way, and because I know that the Carolina is shooting a HE, well, this is a bit of a gamble, but I am sort of thinking it's going to be still loaded with HE. I'll try to pop out and engage, because it's my torpedo range, and I was very, very lucky, as he did have actually AP loaded, and if he waited another second there, he could have actually deleted me. So that was a bit of a mistake on my part, and once again I dodged that salvo from the Veneto by just slowing down and turning, because the slower you turn, the quicker you turn. And at this point, I'm quite happy with Carolina to eat my torps. I'm angled to the Veneto, so I'm not massively fussed about him, and I'm more worried about the Marghi. So I start engaging with him, and once again I just turn away. The mines turns quite well. It's got good maneuverability, especially if you build it for such. And yeah, I just carry on. Once again, the ideal position for any German cruiser is spamming from relatively good distance, where you can reliably land all your shells. You've got good penetration, good fire chance. That's exactly what I'm doing. The only thing here, I do make another mistake. I miscalculate the reload in Armaghi, and I slow down too late, and I eat a good 10k sour there, I believe. So, but that's fine. I carry on spamming him. I'm not massively fussed about Veneto, as I said, because I'm angled to him, and his dispersion is atrocious, so he's very unlikely to hit me from that distance reliably. So at this point, we're winning the game quite comfortably, so I decided to sort of turn around and engage their Marghi, as this is really going to be my only damage left in the game. And yes, if I do pop out one-on-one it's the Margi, even on 17k health, is gonna absolutely annihilate me. However, I can see that my Massachusetts is pointing his guns this way, so I'm quite happy to just keep sailing. And especially bow on, it'll be quite hard for that Margi to shoot me, or to at least do significant damage. As you can see with this salvo, with this dispersion, I turn slightly to the right, dodge that, and the Massachusetts delete him. So pretty good little counter push there from our side. Started all the way at A. We realised that help was needed at sort of C, and we made our way there. So that was much much easier. And as I said, this is your typical German cruiser gameplay. You sail within their range, you turn around, you kite away, you spam, and you keep doing that. Especially, you know, in the mines, it's quite easy because it's DPM. And so I definitely recommend a ship if you enjoy the German line. He definitely goes quite well with the special German captain as well. As I said, you can pretty much every game you can activate that 7.5% boost. And it is by there's nowhere really I'm going to get very quickly, so I'll decide to cap C just to pretty much end the game as quickly as I can. I've not really been paying attention to the CV most of the game because he's sort of not actually been harassing me, so I'm not actually sure where he is. I know that Ognivoy is in B because he's still capping it, but I'm not really that fussed because we're going to get C, and he's going to die regardless. And I think my submarines, the most engaging gameplay, are still there. There we go. The Hawk finally kills the submarine, leaving it just a CV and Ognivoy on the enemy team. And I believe the Ognivoy does get taken down by my Massachusetts here in a second, leaving just CV. What I'll do, I'll include my PR stats for the mines. Unfortunately, the API doesn't fully work for the black ships, so what I'll do, I'll put the average score for the mines, and then I'll show you what my score in it is, and what my win percentage is, so you can just judge what how good or bad this ship is as well. And finally, the CV gets spotted. We start engaging with him. I know we're not going to get too much out. For some reason, he decides to come out into us. I mean, obviously, it's good for us, ends the game a lot quicker. But I finally got the post game results. So we've earned 2.2 million credits. I am running the red booster. So usually I would run the 800%, so give me about 1.1, 1.2 from a decent game. Got some 1000 XP and 10,000 free XP, which is quite nice. Got some medals there as well. But there we go. So as I said, it's a pretty good credit maker. If you're running reds or yellows, you can make easily anywhere between 900 to a million per game. If you have decent games, so you can proc consider Lichin's special skills. So yeah, on to the next bit. And just one thing I wanted to show you guys is here we go. So mine's B. This is my stats. Played 43 games, got a 60% win rate. My average damage is 102. Now for tier 8, I would say that's pretty good. Maybe not the best, however, I think that's quite good, considering that if you look at the Clausewitz, my average damage in that is 150. So there we go. Yeah. So as I said, this is a pretty strong ship. It's a very good credit maker as well. So if you could pick one up, I'd definitely recommend it.